Teenagers and Birth Control by Kelsey Leach. Imagine Jessie, a 15-year-old young woman who just became sexually active with her boyfriend. She does not want her parents to know, and she does not want to become pregnant either, so she decides to go on birth control. Because there are parental permission laws, she cannot get birth control because she does not want her parents to know. 3 months later, Jessie finds out that she's pregnant. I do believe this unplanned pregnancy could have been stopped by the use of birth control. However, because of the parental permission laws, this wasn't possible. Unfortunately, this is the circumstances and situations that many young women these days find themselves in, not being able to talk to their parents about it. When I was 15, I was fortunate enough to have our program in town, the public health program, and my birth control was funded through the state because I was a dependent and I didn't have a job and things like that. So I didn't have to pay anything for it. I went to the Pierce County Health Office every month, and my parents never had to know. And that was a big part of why I did it that way. It was because they didn't have to know. I do believe that teen girls should be allowed to use birth control without parent permission, barring physical exams. So, I want blood workups, iron count, things like that, to make sure that young women aren't going to be put in jeopardy because of using birth control. I want there to be things like doctors and really looking out for your health and not just saying, okay, here's some birth control, do what you will with it. I want to make sure that they are healthy when they're using it and things like that. There are also another reason why I think there should be no parental consent laws is because sometimes it's really hard for teenagers to have that conversation with their parents. And sometimes the parents don't want to have it either. It's really hard and sometimes confusing for parents and children to be on that same level of awkwardness and just going out there and putting themselves out there, actually talking, being honest with one another. That's really hard for some people, actually. There are many benefits to using birth control, not just for contraception, not for family planning, such as many of them are connected to menstruation. Birth controls regulate periods, and depending on the kind of birth control you're using, they can actually stop periods for the duration of you using that method of birth control. In NewsRx 2006, women use birth control to manipulate and menstruate when convenient. And I had to do some research on that. I didn't quite understand what that meant. But what they mean is that there are like the 3-month packs now of birth control where you don't get your period for 3 months. And there are the Implanon, the Nexplanon, the implants, the IUDs, things like that, that actually can stop your period for the duration, like I said. So as long as you're using them, you might not get a period. And then to menstruate when convenient, say, well, I'm going to get married at the end of my 3-month pack, so I'm going to have my period on the 2nd month, and then just skip the placebos on the 3rd month and go straight into the new packages. Things like that, I guess, are how women are using those. Birth control can stop painful cramps and heavy bleeding, menstruation things, stuff like that. Amanda Baltazar in 2007, in her article, The Latest Generation in Birth Control Can Eliminate Periods, that she said there's also medical reasons that people use it, like endometriosis. That's a medical issue with the uterus. That she said that birth control actually really helps regulate, really helps those people who are dealing with that. And when I say that children don't want to talk to their parents about it, I don't mean that they're irresponsible by any means. There are tons of young women out there that are completely responsible, can fathom the fact that if their birth control doesn't work, they may end up with an unplanned pregnancy, things like that. And they maybe have a plan or something to come up, or something to help them with those unplanned things that may come up because of it. They really do have a clue. Parental consent requirement for birth control may up U.S. teen pregnancy rates. In that article, it stated that 47% of Wisconsin minors said that if parental consent laws came to Wisconsin, they would not use birth control anymore. That is almost half of the minors in Wisconsin. That is a crazy number. Me being from Wisconsin, I I can't imagine that would be crazy, I feel like. Girma and Patton in 2013 said that in just one county in Illinois that the requirement of the parental consent laws actually led to women under the age of 19, a huge increase of births in that age range. In just one county in one state. Can you imagine worldwide things like that? I do understand why consent laws are passed, and I do understand there are many reasons, but I still think that women should be able to be on birth control. Young women should be able to be on birth control if they choose to. And if it were my daughter, if she was questioning it, I would just want her to be able to do it. I don't want her to have to question. I don't want to question, and she doesn't want to have me to question. And I just feel like it's the right thing to do.